So I recently put up a tweet on Instagram asking for some questions that you guys want me to answer, and that's what I want to do in this episode. I'm going to be answering your questions from Twitter. So this is Ask Kesh on Twitter. Special episode. Also, by the way, I'm going to be sort of drawing something while I'm answering these questions. So yeah, let's do that. First question, if you weren't an artist, then what would you be? So I've sort of thought about this a lot. I used to say this answer, which is farming. I wanted to be a farmer, and turns out farming is a hard job, and I can't even do like gardening, and I don't even water the plants that are in my studio. So I think I'm quite an irresponsible person when it comes to that. So I don't think farming would be good. I think I would have made a very good entrepreneur, right? I think I have this knack or like this want to start businesses that are useful and do stuff like that. And also I've been interested in medicine, weirdly, something that I never thought I'd be interested in, like natural medicines like Ayurveda and things like that. So yeah, if I weren't an artist, I would have been either an entrepreneur or a farmer or a doctor. Being an artist with lots of thoughts and ideas to execute and being active in most of the social media platforms, how do you manage this? I'm constantly falling short, Arjun. I mean, I'm constantly falling short. I'm not able to say that properly. I'm falling short, and it's very hard. It's very, very hard. Let me rephrase that. So here's what I think about what my job is. My job primarily is to be a practitioner, meaning do the thing that I'm doing, which is drawing, making illustrations, creating artworks and things like that. And my secondary job is actually sharing all the things that I'm doing on the social media platforms. So primary job, making stuff, secondary, sharing these things. And I'm falling short every single day, and I don't know what to say more than that. What is your most prized possession in art, like any tools or brush or artwork? I think my most prized possession would be probably myself. I think that would be very narcissistic to say, but yeah, I feel like I've been gifted with certain kind of intelligence, not like IQ, but more like intelligence to make the right decisions for the right things, the right times in life. I've been blessed, man, I'm telling you. And because of that has sort of gotten me this far or wherever I want to be. So yeah, that would be my most prized possession. If you were to talk on the tangible levels, I think my most prized possession would be like currently my iPad Pro, right? Like I use that thing a lot. And my MacBook. Two good things that I absolutely love and use a lot. How to increase visibility of your artworks on social media? I want to give you a very specific answer on this one because I usually, stay a bit general, but I'll give you a specific answer. Focus on two things, right? One would be to really stand out on a huge platform. You would need to be different. You need to make different, or you need to provide something different. That's how the market works, right? You gotta put up something different, and people will come to you because of the difference. And number two would be quality, right? Providing really good, high quality stuff and being different at the same time is going to give you a big advantage for you to sort of stand out. And that way you can sort of increase your visibility a lot. So, okay, for example, take me, right? I try to sort of share my Indian culture and heritage through my illustrations. Then I make videos and I sort of tell good stories. So these are the things that I'm good at. So quality. And I'm also different in the sense I'm combining these three things that nobody else is doing. So that's why I'm able to sort of reach people and increase visibility for my artwork. So do something different and do it well. So those are the two things. Any tips for being more confident in your artwork? To be able to look at something and think it's fine, that it looks bad, and not want to throw out everything you made and feel bad. I think you get better over time, right? You get better digesting or being okay with things over time, and that comes with sort of, I don't know. I'm young, right? I'm not going to say, it comes with experience. I don't have a lot of experience, but that's from what I'm seeing from other people. You're just okay with the crap that you make, and you're like, man, I made crap today. That's completely fine. I think I'm going to make more and see if I make more crap or probably less crap over time, right? That's how it sort of works in the beginning. So you be okay, you become okay, or you practice being okay. That's how it works, or that's what I did at least. What's your history? When did you start to draw? Do you go to art school? Since when do you make a living out of your art? Well, my history, I've been born and brought up in India, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. That's where I am. That's where I live. I speak the language of Tamil. Ellarukkum vanakkam. And I started to draw when I was sort of 5 or 6 years old. And I've been drawing ever since then. I had a small break from drawing. Like I didn't draw that much when I was in 10th and 11th and 12th grade, because in India, those are the 3 years where you sort of go through hell, where people just force you to study 16 hours a day because you have your board exams and things like that. So that was like one hectic hell of a period. And did I go to art school? No, I did not. I didn't go to any art school. I studied in an art college. I studied BSc Electronic Media. That means Electronic Visual Communication. Basically like covers filmmaking, radio and things like that. I studied that stuff. Wasn't useful. It was like probably on an academic front, college was biggest waste of my time. But on the social front, I made good friends. Sashikant here, for example, right? And since when do you make a living out of my art? I've been making a living out of my art from the very day I graduated, or I wrote my final exam in college. I got an interview at an ad agency. I started using my filmmaking skills, sort of making money with my art. If I were to say, if you were asking me like freelance sense, that would probably be that. So I had like intermittent periods of freelancing from like 2015, 2016 and 2017. So early 2017 and 2016, I did a lot of freelance work here and there. That was my broke period. I wasn't making that much money to live, right? And 2017 is where things picked off for me, because I gave myself a deadline to make YouTube work, and thankfully it worked. Then ever since then, I've been making money out of YouTube. Then I've been making money out of freelance. Then I've been making money out of brand things. And then I'm now making money out of mostly my digital products and online courses and things like that. So it takes time. If you want a perspective, it takes a lot of time. I've been doing this since 2010 and 2010-ish, 2009, 2010. So it takes time. Could you be more specific? The idea of creating stories with your art. And could you provide more examples of a good use of this? I think I did provide a good example on the video itself. But if I'm sort of being more specific with this idea of telling stories with your art, here are some tips that just comes to my mind right now. That is something that I can share, which is one, try to tell a story about something that you want to know more about, right? Explore themes, ideas, and things that you want to know more about. And that comes from being interested in things in life that is just more than art. So most people who are artists just focus on art. Like they are breathing art, living art, thinking art, doing this, doing that, everything related to art. But you have to have a life so that you can make art about that particular life. So do something, be interested in different subjects, politics or philosophy or whatever thing that interests you, being a better person. That is something that I think I'm like a jackass most of the time, right? Except for art, I really suck at most things, and I'm interested in being a better version of myself. I like mythology, Indian culture, heritage, and lately politics. I'll never talk politics on this channel. I'm going to make that a thing. So yeah, those are the things that I'm interested in. So I want to share this interesting story with J.J. Abrams, the director of Force Awakens, Super 8 and things like that. He said his father, I think, told him when he asked his father that whether should he go to film school, learn more about filmmaking, or do something else, his father told him, go and live your life and make scripts out of it, because I'd rather, hear a story from a man who walked 10,000 miles and wrote a bad story about it, instead of a guy who went to film school and wrote a story about nothing, right? So that's the thing. That's the idea. How long have you explored your passion for drawing? Quite a lot. I have been sort of very confused after college as to what I wanted to do with my passion. What should I do? Well, what my passion is. I have two things, filmmaking, art. What should I do, right? Which one should I follow? Then slowly I started experimenting with YouTube videos, making more artworks and making more illustrations. By doing things, I was able to sort of clarify my thoughts way better instead of just sitting and thinking about it. And I was confused a lot. Then soon I realized that passion is something that is just that you're good at something. It's like positive feedback loop, right? You do something little, then all of a sudden that thing makes you feel a little bit better. Then you sort of create more liking towards that thing. Then you repeatedly do that, and over time it feels like you're passionate about something. So that's my idea and theory on passion. So yeah, a couple of years of exploring my passion before I logged in on, say, my specific skill, which is filmmaking and drawing and art and making creative things that are useful. That is my mantra. How rich are you? This is something that I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about how rich I am. I want to talk about this thing, which is most people assume that I come off from a very well-off family. So this is for my fellow Indian friends out there who constantly say things like, because I see comments, right? Oh man, wait, oh, you made it. You must be from a well-off family. You look like a guy from like a privileged position, because I'm like the white guy of India, so I'm like slightly fairer skinned, right? So in India, like fair-skinned people who talk slightly better English, that they means they come from like a family of wealth, and their parents take them to United States for a vacation for every 2 years or something like that. So I'm not one of those kids. I happen to look fair. I was born and brought up in a very lower middle class Indian family. My parents split when I was very young, and we were struggling for money up until I started my job in 2015, and we lived from paycheck to paycheck. My mom worked multiple jobs. She's a dance teacher. She raised me as a single mother, and I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. We struggled so much with money when I was little, and I made it my life's goal that not only will I have enough money, I'll have more than enough financial independence, and I'll work towards that, and I'll do that by doing the things that I love. That is like my core deep thing that I'm doing. So thankfully I'm doing well right now, and we're doing well because I pushed very hard. And that's what I keep saying to my friend Sashi right here, right? Because we're all like from very lower middle class Indian families, and we don't have the advantage of being born in a family of wealth, and we constantly talk about how privileged they are, and yes, life is not fair. Not everybody is born with equal outcomes, but everybody, I believe, most people, 90% of the people are born with equal opportunities. You and the kid from the upper thingy has the same level of opportunities. It's just that we need to push harder. I know it's not fair. It's not fair for us to have an opportunity to push harder and experience something that those people cannot. So yes, it is not fair. So that is the advantage. That is something I want to talk, sort of put it out there, because I don't want to hear these excuses that I keep saying when I say, oh, you know what, work hard, you'll get it. And you're like, oh, easy for you to say, you're so privileged. Right? We need to censor that. So work, push harder, and you'll be fine. And I'm happy right now, right? So there's that. How many years did it take to become so good at illustration? And could you show some improvement pictures from 2011 to 2020, like the years of how you're improving? Well, I don't remember the stuff that I was making in 2011. Oh yeah, I was making these realism drawings and realism pieces. So this is a picture of that. But by the way, keep in mind that even though it looks, quote unquote, looks good, realism is a fairly easy skill to, get. But drawing cartoons and things like that was very hard. So here's an example picture of that, and here's an example picture of what I did recently. So this is like my improvement over the years, and this improvement sort of come very slowly, here and there, and mostly during the 100 days of sketching challenge, where you sort of produce a lot of work. Volume often leads to good improvement, often, probably not all the time, but often. So yeah, that's my improvement. It takes time. If you have 3 wishes, what would you wish for? I'm sleep deprived right now and I have no better questions. P.S. You can wish for more genies or wishes. That's very good. You got me there, buddy. You got me there. If I had 3 wishes. நல்ல question இல்ல? If I had 3 wishes, what would you wish for? நீ என்ன wish பண்ணுவ? சும்மா சொல்லு. இல்ல. Actually நல்ல question இது.
டைம் மிஷின் கேட்டு இன்னொரு 3 வருஷம் பின்னாடி போகும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் விஷயம்.
ஓ
3 வருஷம் முன்னாடி போனா இப்போ இருக்கிறத விட பெட்டரான ஆப்ஷன்ஸ்
okay. I don't know if I have 3 wishes, but one thing that just instantly comes to my mind would be, I wish, speaking of past, right, like from what he said, speaking of past, I wish I would have not fallen for these very atheistic principles which I was following when I was very young. Oh, God is not, I don't want to get into those things, but you get the idea. I'm more spiritual these days, slightly more religious. But I wish I hadn't sort of fallen for those things, because there were so many good things I've missed out, so many good principles which I could have learned during those periods from what these different things were offering, and I missed out on all those things. And I was just actually, I don't want that wish to happen, because I wouldn't sort of have I wouldn't know the kind of importance that these things play in your life, these spiritual elements play in your life right now, right? The thing that I have, that is one. I wish I had exercised more when I was young. Exercising more when I was young, that helps. For people who want to start their own YouTube channel, what would you say to them, or what tips would you give to them? I have learned a lot, right, in the past decade of maintaining a YouTube channel, and let me tell you something. Here are some very actionable things that you can do today to be sort of good on YouTube. First 2 things would be the thing which I sort of answered before, which is be different, produce quality content. These 2 things are very, very important if you want to stand out, or he is just another guy in the entire space. And to be different and to be good, you have to be consistently producing content. You need to consistently make stuff so that you can be good. You won't be different or good from the get-go. You need to actually sort of make more things so that you can actually achieve those things. And when you do achieve those things, or when you have the hint of achieving those things, like what's happening to me right now, you will sort of see the results of it all coming together, right? A couple of years ago, people barely saw my work. I still vividly remember posting daily drawings on Instagram and getting 3 likes, 10 likes, 14 likes, and 24 likes. 6,000 people like my posts on Instagram, like on average. Like, that blows my mind, right? Like 6,000, I thought was only possible for like an elite few of people. That is one. And consistently posting on a schedule that works for you has really helped me. For me, it's probably like 2 to 4 videos a month. Sometimes I post a lot, sometimes I just post 2, sometimes I don't post. So don't beat yourself up too much. But if you're growing in the starting phases, consistency is very, very important, and a schedule is very, very important for YouTube. And that thing should be like the core foundation. On top of that, you need to produce different content and good high quality content that's not out there, so that you can actually stand out. So that's it. Those are all the questions that is for this Ask Kesh Twitter edition. I think I'll be doing more of these Twitter editions, because I get more quality questions, because I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter. So people are being forced to ask good questions instead of, hey, how do you draw a nose? How can I explain drawing a nose on a video, right? So thank you for all these lovely questions. These were really good questions. Really appreciate that. And I'll make more in the future. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.